Greetings. Hello.
They auto attack. It's like, I didn't tell you to attack them.
This place reeks of rotten flesh.
come back to it. Oh, but I can't teleport, right? Actually, where I'm going, I'm at this teleport. See, this used to be a teleport pad. What's this? Oh. Place is destroyed. Squash. Oh, it's me. Oh, goodness.
Don't hesitate. I'm ready when you are.
Looking for ways to manage stress.
I was like, oh, where's my stuff?
Hello and welcome to another Out of Spec review video. This is one I've been so looking forward to sharing with you, and it is my 1-year ownership update summed up, it's fantastic. If you want to hear about the flag,
hell hit me?
Incredible fight. So head to easyraffle.org, purchase a ticket, and hopefully you can choose one of those as your fun. Featuring the 17-sided action that we have fun, sponsoring the video, head to easyraffle.org. This, again, is my 2022 Tesla Model S Plaid, and when I bought it, the price was somewhere around mid-$135,000 to $140,000, something like that. I think with taxes and everything all in, it's around $150,000. A lot of money to spend, also considering the fact that when I got it, this car did not qualify for the $7,500 tax credit, and Tesla has
the buzzing, the incessant buzzing, constantly, everywhere, in my ears, in my head, and then the stench, oh, putrid, foul,
right off the bat,
cloying,
not looking good.
corrupt.
And let's talk about what we've done with this car since day one. Well, we picked it up at Tesla in
There's no escape.
Colorado, and then it went straight
Am I
over
dead
to clear
already?
detailing, where we now have
Is this hell?
detailing. And this is the car
No.
that started our detailing channel.
Would
So
it be
has a
so
bit
different than
I don't
life
know, a
in
specialness
Sanctuary?
to our out of spec world, because this is the car that Colton and I got the idea of making Let's Start a channel all about paint care, extreme quality paint corrections, and next level auto detailing care. We now have out of spec detailing. I would say that Colton is one of the, I would say top 5 detailers in the whole country. With that YouTube channel, it's really, I would say, blown up his business. So many of you guys have cars going in for these huge details with Colton. You booked out months in advance. So if you want your car done here, people are coming from Texas, Washington, Michigan, South Carolina. We've met so many of you. It's amazing. And it all started right here with this Tesla Model S Plaid. Interestingly, this is the first Tesla we've also never given a name to, which means it's probably the one I'm bonded with the least. Which is interesting because I bought this car a little bit out of nostalgia. Famously, I had a bit too much to drink one night, ordered it online, and then it showed up. I was like, crap, I just got the Rivian, and this is such an expensive car. And looking back on it, I probably should not have bought this car. The value, everything it's been through.
But an accident, you would have never been able to know. It's not the car's fault.
car home from Fort Collins one night, very early on in the ownership, right after Colton did his 1 or 2 week long, full, crazy, expensive detail, and, sort of cutting the track mode, stuff didn't even occur, we made a video about it, and that's... suspension, and I was hoping they would have totaled it. I was hoping that, the motors got pushed in and just move on, maybe. But unfortunately, this one was away from being totaled. It actually turned out to be not that much damage. It worked out okay. So and it just, I don't know, Alyssa, how would you describe it? It felt a little bit
to begin with, so it's really hard to make the comparison of what
I've done some alignment changes. I went back through and actually we took it on track after the accident, after everything was fixed, and we in terms of problems with this car,
once again, not the car's fault.
It's down here. Unfortunately, the damage is through the paint. I did not have Sentry. I know who did it. I saw the car on my carpet. And it's like, maybe we shouldn't park here, but reasonable. For less than $1,000, that should be remedied. I don't like the idea of putting paint. This whole wheel hub assembly gave way. And it was actually a production upgrade. But we had the car out of the brake code sitting on the wheel. I've never experienced that in the car, and the car was coming up with so I pulled off the track and Drew was with me driving the house. Drew and I were like, what is going on? This is so weird. And it turned out that the whole rear hub kind of just broke away, and it sheared my bottom bolt for the caliper off. And the caliper, when I hit the brakes, got stuck in the wheel. You can see this here. And I have a brand new caliper on the car now. I've actually kept the old wheel because the motor wheel. But the wheel is rather than the other way around. And it's how I'm able to still use the wheel. It bounces out perfectly. It's just visually has some black paint missing, but it's like, I kind of like it. Drew's like, do you want a new wheel? I'm like, oh, I think it's kind of cool. There's a bit of history with this car. So I couldn't really figure out what was going on there. Of course, the car had the accident perhaps it weakened that hub assembly. It was a couple $1,000s, didn't go through the first or anything, it was on track, so it paid a local performance shop to get the factory Tesla components on the car realigned. And actually, since we fixed that, the car felt a whole lot better. So my impression is that was a damaged hub assembly from the accident. Again, just speculation that Tesla may have missed the initial estimate when they were fixing it after. So that's documenting that process. Or at least when it happened. I think I may have missed upload one, but either way, it doesn't really matter. It was a minor thing. We lift the car over, and we got it hooked in, and other issues than that have just been little rattles, little things. You know, the trunk lid actually has a rattle in it. I can show you that here. I mean, most of the problems with this car, again, were induced by us. I can't really blame the car for a lot of these. Back here, don't know if you can hear that. Every time I'm driving, this is just rattling.
But yeah, they couldn't find it the
They
last
couldn't
time.
find this one. It's been in a couple times for rattles, and they've actually been great at fixing the rattles. Our Tesla service center here in London, truly fantastic. I bring it in, they really listen to my concerns. I'm driving everything, so I pick up on the little things sometimes. They fixed some rattles that I had with the rear seat clips. That was common, fixed. There's a few other ones in the headliner that they fixed, and now this is the last one, and I'm going to have to bring it back in before I drive this car out for Tesla Takeover. So I'm really looking forward to heading to. It should be a fantastic Tesla event to try to get to everyone in San Luis Obispo coming up at the end of July 2023, the last weekend. So head to Tesla Owners of Silicon Valley or look up.
Getting that Vegas feeling.
I'll be there with this car, and I'm going to make sure it's perfect for the event. Can't wait for it to get versus our Rivian in the same time period has 34,000 miles of gas. So this shows you how little I've been driving this car. And it's been on a couple road trips. I've taken it to California twice, about to go on a third California ride. Yeah. And that's what this is turned into. When we go to a factory,
I'm out of essence.
but I just want to kind of dial this car in. So that's what and then I use it for road trips. It can charge on GPS, it can charge on shadow mode, and it can charge on supercharger. So I can literally take this car to any charging station, and it's sort of a life hack. It's pretty amazing.
I lack the required essence.
With the beta, that I do. I've been meaning to run it in the hotback. What I do is actually personally, like, I'm very impressed with FSD beta and really seeing what it can do. As long as you're monitoring the system and hands on the wheel and walk, it's really fun to use. Most of the time, though, I'm not really driving this around town. I'm driving something else, maybe out Dakota, just weird other stuff. And then also, when I'm in this car and I'm driving around town, I'm usually like, we got a lot of stuff to do during the day. I'm just hammering here, there, whatever. Using FSD data really extends the trip life because it's trying to follow rules and regulations and not run people over and all this stuff. And I'm just like, everyone out of my way, I gotta get to where I'm going. And I got a flag, so I'm wide open throttle at every step of it. And so I don't really use that FSD data. Okay, everyone's gonna know the market. What else?
Well, we Battles are my favorite. You know it.
We'll talk about that because we're coming. What about the yoke?
Oh, yeah. I was thinking about
The car was tipped with the yoke.
but I actually didn't think mine was
I used it on track and thought it was fine. I just prefer the round steering wheel. Specifically for the round steering wheel on this car. To me, it just became live. I felt like even though somehow I wasn't, but I was sitting a little bit lower in the car, the wheel came up higher. I could actually work the wheel nicer. I didn't pull the wheel on it.
definitely the round wheel is more comfortable and less to fiddle with and learn.
It looks better. I can feed it through, especially when I'm using FSD data actually for the wheel turn. I'm not like, there's not spinning rectangle in front of me. And for like doing quick skids and stupid drifts and stuff, it's nice to have the round wheel and just get outside.
Yeah, which I do all the time.
So that's been my favorite. But we've also done some really other things. I've made videos about all of them. We've installed
I need more time.
it's not optimized for what I'm looking for. It's very, I don't even know how to describe it in a way for it to make sense, but the car has very poor cold measurement. And also when it gets hot, it gets slimy and greasy really quickly. It's perfectly optimized for the straight line stuff, for the acceleration and deceleration. But it just doesn't have the turning that I'm looking for. It seems like the carcass needs to be a little bit stiffer and not into the Mercedes optimized tire for this platform. They work great on the Mercedes cars because I've driven this tire on EM. Take care of that. Which is, pretty good wet handling and grip. We do a lot of wet driving. And also I've also upgraded the brake movement, and yeah, the brakes are amazing when you drive in cars. I've also been considering going for the Tesla. Plus how cool is it to have over 200 pounds? And then you get carbon ceramic, which I typically don't like carbon upgrade. There's also some mountain top suspension stuff. Idling the camera a little bit, and just so I can lower it. I have lowering rates coming from the suspension to cool the air suspension. It's actually lower than it is, or higher than it is, basically, so the car compensates to get another few inches of drop. Because right now it's in the lowest setting, and it's just too high. So then my car is
Well, that's partially why I want to actually we also want to
just want to lower it maybe an inch and a half, but then I still retain the behind it. If I pull in the driveway, I can raise it up. So that's some of the modifications. Let's just talk Model S in general, then, if you don't mind, Melissa. What is your impression about the size of the car, especially the new car values of Model S Plaid being incredible? You know, a friend of mine, Dan,
I'd love to get one. I don't care what any of these people say.
Twitter updates on that. I'll leave that.
It'll be my first electric car, and I already know I'd love it.
I don't think you need a car to be this fast.
Totally disagree.
For an everyday driver, it is hard to not be on the road because it gets into accidents. Likely so.
Yes, it might be dangerous.
My bags are full.
Or you can get carried away. But this is America. We're allowed to do what we want to do. And if you want to do something stupid, you got to pay the price. And so let people choose their own fate. I actually think it's a perfectly sized car. It's huge. There's so much interior space. The size of the base. Let me just show everyone the interior a little bit more.
I cannot carry on.
In comparison to that, like a Bowers and Wilkins in our Polestar 1, that car just seems a little bit better enveloped. I actually think the Model X sounds a lot better. But as a cruiser, it has noise cancellation. It's very quiet on the highway. The suspension softens out. It does have some weird, awkward porpoising over some bumps. You can tell it's not really well engineered as, you know, Taycan going down the road. But chassis handling perspective, in my mind, Taycan's amazing with all their, you know, anti-dive technology and anti-roll technology in their suspension. This is not that. But when you factor in the size, this car's so much bigger and powerful, and you get the right brakes on it, you get the right tire and wheel combination on it, it really wakes up and comes alive. It's a useful vehicle. I've loaded this thing up full of stuff, putting the back seats down with that awesome big hatchback. It's truly a 5-seat, I'm not going to say a luxury sedan because it's just not, but a premium sedan that can haul ass. And to me, it's just really cool. It's the car that people want to come over and go for a
The
walk.
intelligences.
And it's kind of a cool party trick. It's a modern day muscle car that, with a few suspension changes and brake changes, can actually do the corners pretty well as well.
Yeah, now that the price has gone down significantly, it makes a lot more sense to buy this car. But the price that we got it at, it makes no sense at that price.
We did everything wrong when it came to this.
Ultimate
It was a
skill,
rough first
lightning
year.
resist,
We paid way too
damage.
much money for it. Looking at the market to what happened after that, no one knew what was going to happen after we got this car. But you know, cars are depreciating assets. Sometimes you got to eat it, and unfortunately, we're going to have to eat it on this one, which really sucks. So we got to make a lot of videos. But it's a lot to come. So let's talk about the future plans for the Model S Plaid. What's going to happen? Well, there was some talk about me getting this car and then trading it in on the Taycan quite quickly. Well, Taycan facelift is around the corner. This car's also lost quite a bit of value. And so I definitely want to wait for at least Taycan facelift to make a decision as to what to do. It doesn't make sense for me to have a Taycan Cross Turismo and the Plaid. They both serve the same purpose, but ultimately I'm a Taycan lover. We need to see what they say about their North American charging standard. That's going to weigh heavily into my purchase. And I've also been driving Anna's Taycan quite a bit and using that for videos. So the need for me to have my own right now is actually quite low, and I'm enjoying the Plaid. And I also haven't finished telling this car's story and what I've wanted to do with it. There's a lot more left to do. Hog bath, track test with it dialed in. Drag. I have never taken this car to a drag strip before. We still have to do that. It's actually banned at our local drag strip. It's so fast, so I gotta find one I can do. So there's so much more to do with this. And honestly, people like it. It gets pretty good views. It's got interest. It's a cool car. I think it works. It's the best looking electric car in the market right now.
Spirits.
And so let's talk about what's to come. Well, it's actually got to go back to Colton for a re-detail. The reason is when it was in for accident work, it's no one's fault that people were moving over the car and brushing up against it, and there's a few scratches down the side that just need to be recompounded out and polished out. So it's got to go in for a ceramic coating, repolished, compound polished ceramic coat, full paint correction, all that stuff. That will happen after my trip to California coming up here, because I'm going to get bugs and crap all over it and all that stuff. I've also picked up quite a few rock chips on this car, going with a wider wheel and tires for that reason, especially in here. So I want to have these rectified, and I might even extend this paint protection piece up to here as well. A lot of people choose to paint protection film their entire cars. This is just one I'm not going to do it with, perhaps with the Polestar 1, because the paint is so special.
Always getting that?
I would lose some clarity and depth in this paint, but might actually, should have probably PPF'd it from day one, just because of the rock chip nature. We have some suspension coming from Mountain Pass Performance, some upper control arms, some rear links as well to dial in the camber and faster, and then also some lowering links. I ordered actually yesterday off Drew's website, MarshallWheels.com. Didn't even tell Drew I ordered them. I just thought, I don't even know which ones they are. But they're height adjustable. I can dial it in, and the car will go really as low or as high as I want it to go. My whole idea is just to kind of shift everything one down. So medium becomes low, high becomes medium, highest becomes high. So I'll lose overall height, but I never put it in max height anyway. And then low becomes fancy mode for track stuff, for also daily driving.
This guy knows how to fucking blab his mouth, eh?
Then it's time to enjoy it. Time to tell the stories. Time for road trips, track tests, drag races, and of course a hogback series. So we have another at least a year worth of content left to do with this thing, I would think. And I'm truly going to try and drive it a little bit more than I have. Only 11,700 miles in 1 year, and 12,000 miles is average for most people, but I'm on the road all the time. I also drive everything else, so I'm probably doing well over 100,000 miles a year of driving and testing and doing these things, and I'd like to do a little bit more with this car. So my 1 year of ownership, the first year has been rough. The car's been bumped into, crashed into stuff, and had a few rattles and just hasn't been right. But we're dialing it in for year 2, where it's, I hope, going to come alive. Everything will, sort of be worth, the challenges will be worth the reward for year 2. And can't wait to get this versus Lucid Air Grand Touring Performance, and maybe even Sapphire out on track together. So many fun things to come. I'm looking forward to year 2. You guys let me know what you want to see with this car. And it just looks awesome. It just needs a wash and some miles. What do you think, Alyssa?
A lot more miles. All it's been is to California, and that's boring.
Yeah, it's been to California twice, about to go on its 3rd trip to California.
So it needs to go, to Canada.
But I have to say, if you're looking at one car that can do it all, this is a pretty good case of one car that can do it all. It can charge on everything, it looks great, it's fast as hell, and you can put all your stuff in there. I mean, I don't think there's a better car out there if you just need one thing to do it all. I'd say it's between this and the Rivian R1T as a more off-road focused work truck, or adventure truck, if you will. And then actually a great 2-car solution is this and the Rivian R1T. It covers everything you could ever need to do with a car. So maybe drive underwater and live in amphibious.
Not yet.
Not yet. Cybertruck though. We'll see. We're gonna test it. Good for the YouTube.
Yeah.
Can the Cybertruck float underwater? That'll be our title. Actually, I hate questions as titles. Let's end this year. That's my planned 1 year ownership. Rough, but we're looking forward to year 2. Love the car. I highly recommend everyone to go and buy a Tesla Model S Plaid. The pricing right now is unbelievable. And actually, Model X Plaid might be the move because they're the same price. And X's seem to hold their value a little bit better in the secondary market. We were just playing around with a brand new Model X Plaid yesterday that Colton has in his detailing. And man, build quality was not good on that one. It's actually pretty good on this. But Yeah, build quality not good, but fun factor for the family very high. So I recommend that. Thanks for watching another out of spec review video. I'm gonna go put some more miles and do some testing on this car now, and we'll see you on another one soon. Bye-bye. It is not actually over. I just wanted to show you a few things that I really love about this car. First of all, phone is a key for Tesla, works great, but they also give me these little key fobs that I can carry around. These are
Yeah, man, this guy knows how to fucking blab his mouth. But then his father, right? The video I saw of his father, I know exactly where he gets it from. Because his father knows how to fucking blab his mouth.
We are racing a Porsche Taycan, Lucid Air, and Tesla Model S, the big three long-range.
So I'm losing overpower damage and critical strike damage.
But in full
Which is
transparency,
okay.
this first episode is a bit of a fail. We ran into a major issue. And so what you're going to see are 3 separate videos on this race to Vegas.
I can't use
On the way
I like
out
that
to
one.
Vegas in Colorado, we have this video where we go from basically Fort Collins to Green River, Utah. You'll see how that goes. We'll learn all about the cars. You're going to basically go through all the testing procedures, the specs on the cars, battery sizes, and then our initial start, basically halfway, the first half of the trip, the long video that you'll learn about how we're optimizing the car, how charging infrastructure is working, all of that. Part 2, we will finish off the race to Vegas, but then part 3 is the big one. Part 3 is where we have everything lined up, the stars aligned, and we have the most epic thing we've ever done on Outspec. The craziest race in Outspec history. A result no one could have predicted. I know I sound like I'm talking this up. It's truly crazy. So you're going to see 3 parts of this race to Vegas. I'm going to get them edited, get them out.
Critical strike damage to vulnerable enemies.
Epic in their own right. But keep in mind, this first and second episode, our way out to Vegas, is really us
power damage.
Optimizing them. We really were great at optimizing. You'll see that through the
Basic
video.
skill damage.
Part 3, when we race back to Colorado,
strike damage to car
where it all
control.
came together and it was next level. So enjoy this long video. I hope you enjoy learning about the cars, seeing how we're using them.
Plus 2 life on a kill.
Every last drop of juice in this race to Vegas, and you guys will have to wait and see who wins. Let's see what happens in episode 1 because it's truly a disaster. I'll give you a little teaser of episode 3 though, because that's
plus 5 life on a kill.
Oh my gosh. Ryan coming in hot, full break. I'll help him out. We'll get the charger in for him. Let's go. Oh no, and Colton's leaving. Okay, we gotta go as fast as possible. Guys, it is the big one. We are doing another race to Vegas here on Out of Spec Motoring. That is where we take a few cars and drive from here in northern Colorado, about 800, a little over 800 miles to Las Vegas. We set a speed cap, and basically we have drivers who know how to optimize electric vehicles, and we see who can get there first. So we call it Race to Vegas. It's one of my favorite things that we've done. We're doing the second one now, but we are pulling out all the big boys. These are the holy trinity of the EV world right now, if you will. We have the Lucid Air Grand Touring, 516 miles of range, one of the fastest charging electric cars we've ever tested. Only thing faster charging than this was Hummer EV. So over 350 kilowatt charging speed, over 500 miles of EPA-rated range. That is a monster. I can't wait to see how it does. I'll walk through the pros and cons of each car because that car also has some cons that might mean it isn't going to win this race. We genuinely don't know who's going to win. We also have the Tesla Model S back here. We'll talk about the specs, the version that we're using, everything like that. And then we have the Porsche Taycan, which is the large battery, rear drive, aero-wheeled, fully optimized car. The car that we smashed at the time, the Cannonball record, New York to Los Angeles. Not this exact car, but a similar one. And we all know Taycan's just a road-tripping machine. But it's also 3 years old now, 3 years old. It is, sort of older tech, but still can hold its own in this arena. So I'll walk you through all the cars. I'll walk you through the challenge. I'll introduce you to the drivers. And then we are going on a race to Vegas. This is part 1 of 2, so it's a little bit of prep work and the initial drive. Again, we won't know who wins in this video, but you'll see how it all goes. And then part 2 will launch just a few days after this, which will pick up from wherever we leave off in the drive today, and you'll see the winner as we go into Las Vegas. first off, the cars. I want to explain what we're going to be driving there, the pros and cons of each, and then I'll run through some of the challenge details for that. So let me give you my impressions on each of the cars and why I genuinely don't know who's going to win this challenge. So we're actually all here at Clear Detailing, where Colton, who runs the Out of Spec Detailing channel, has a bunch of charging available, so we're full charging all the cars here. Last time we left from our old office on the north side of Fort Collins, a lot of people have asked, what about your new office? Well, this has been such a pain in the butt trying to get a space for us to put all the cars. It's in progress, but it's slower than we expected. So we're temporarily here at the Clear Detailing building, and thanks to Colton for charging up all the cars to 100%. So when we leave in the morning, it's actually the nighttime, we prep the cars, wash the cars, put the thing, set all the tire pressures tonight. When we leave in the morning, we'll be good to go. This is the reason we're doing this run, the Lucid Air Grand Tour. This is my dad's car, Out of Spec Days on YouTube. And, well, technically he's not sure so it's ours as well, for us to use for the summer. But it's going back to him. And I was like, before it goes back to my dad, we need to run a race against the other big dogs here. And the Lucid Air Grand Tour. Just the 9-year-old located in the high the longest range and fastest driving muscle car according to
What is this?
Blood. Lucid has not announced North American license support yet. Mostly because Tesla has not offered because you have to rely on but that is very realistic because if you're going to drive a Lucid on the road trip, you have to use that cannonball run in this car. If Signet Chargers has worked with this, we would have had the record
than what the infrastructure allows it to do. And I think if they could get the infrastructure in place and they could massage the charging curve, and then we have the Tesla Model S. Now, you might notice a big elephant in the room. No arrow wheels on this one. This is my Tesla Model S class. Colton's going to be driving drive Tesla, understands how to optimize Tesla, knows the supercharger knows how to plan it well, when it's trying to steer you off, when it's trying to charge. And we just couldn't find a Model S long range for this test. However, the Plaid and the long range are only 9 miles different in the EPA cycle, so we're very close, about 400 However, we thought about limiting this car just to CCS charging, but that's not fair. It's not realistic to what consumers would do. You buy a Tesla for the charging infrastructure, for the driver assistance, for the vertically integrated technology, and it works, and I think we'll see that in the race to Vegas. So this could easily win tomorrow. The Lucid could easily win tomorrow, and the Taycan could easily win tomorrow. Now this one, EV enthusiasts will know why this car can win tomorrow, because we've done cannonball trips, I've done road trips, we've done everything possible with Taycan to show its true capabilities, and this car is a little bit in a wolf in sheep's clothing, if you will. The numbers on paper don't look good. It's low 200-mile range, the smallest battery pack in the bunch.
Your wounds are still fresh.
You can bind them again when I return.
Usable significantly smaller batteries than the Lucid, and even smaller than the Model S. But the charging performance of this car, the thermal management of this car is magic. This car will hold a peak speed of 270 kilowatt charging, which is more than the Model S, and pretty much more on average than the Lucid, based off of our testing.
That boy's got more sand
So
than
from 0
sense.
to 50% is 10 minutes flat in this car. 0 to 70% is 14 minutes flat. It is a charging machine. And so while I might have to go slower and stretch the range of the Lucid, Ryan is going to be driving this car and basically trying to get the chargers dead and hot, and basically do the out-of-spec road trip method. Get in low, get the battery preconditioned at the perfect temperature, get all the tools in the Porsche control module. There's a PCM up here to allow him to get the temperature right at the time he gets to the charger, rip it to 50%, and then head to the next charger. So I can't wait to see what this does. The thing is, the longer the drive that we select, the better the Titan does, because this is charging. Charging is the most important thing on a road trip. The shorter the trip that we have, the more advantage we give to the Lucid, because we can get that big initial full charge, and then, you know, if we were to go New York to LA, basically the Lucid would get that big head start, and I imagine the Titan would start catching over time because of the charging performance.
So close.
The thing is, what we've chosen
Oh, wait, no,
Vegas,
same.
I would say, is a very customer use case, realistic road trip of about 800 miles. Now, I'll do 1,000, 1,100, 1,200 mile day using the Cannonball cars, New York to LA. We've been doing it once every year. But those are not customer realistic use cases. Anyone realistically buying a Model S, a Lucid, or a Taycan isn't driving through day and through the night. They're going to do a long day trip, overnight at a hotel, and then do another day trip after that. And so,
I haven't upgraded that yet.
Las Vegas as our destination, because it's, again,
Loop
just over
of
800
reanimation.
miles. It's a realistic road trip day, and that's what we're trying to simulate here. All of the cars are, of course, expecting the largest battery pack possible. This one's on the aero wheels, the Lucid's on the aero wheels. This is the only disadvantage.
See that he's damaged while alive up to 40%.
28 wheel, but again, it's lighter, so maybe that will help as well. Ultimately, I don't think the wheel's going to be the make or break here, and I don't think the Plaid versus a long range is going to be the make or break. If we could have had a long range on arrows, I would have loved it, but ultimately, this car versus a long range on arrows might be a 5 or 10 minute difference to Las Vegas if you optimize both cars if you like that. So,
Lightning
the run,
resist,
the
fire
challenge,
resist,
the
lucky
details.
chance,
What are we all
damage
gonna do with these
controlled
cars?
enemies,
Well, tomorrow morning, we're going
damage
to go to
to
bed. These are going to
close
full charge
enemies,
overnight.
damage over
Tomorrow
time.
morning, we'll come in here. We're going to unplug all the cars, plug them back in, and re-top charge them again. Just want to calibrate the BMSs, show them what's up top, let them basically top balance. While we're doing that, we're going to just double-check tire pressures, make sure everything's good to go, and then we're all going to head out on our route heading west. Now, I'm not sure what the other guys' plans are to optimize. I've given them pointers.
The guy talks so fucking much.
I've given Ryan pointers on how to optimize the Taycan. They'll be able to tell you their strategy in this video as we go on. But we have a speed cap of 5 miles per hour over the speed limit. We've discussed this back and forth. Last time during the race to Vegas, we did a 5 over speed cap. It worked out fine and keeps the speeds reasonable, keeps everyone safe, just enough to pass a car if we need to. And ultimately, I think there's going to be some stretches, especially in the Lucid, that maximize the range, where I'm going to be slightly under that 5 miles per hour over, just depending on weather conditions and everything like that. So let's talk to the guys tonight, get their impressions of how everything's going to go, what they think about the cars, what they think about the run, what their strategy is going to be, and then we are going to get some shut-eye because it is 11:53 p.m., and I want to leave early in the morning, so time for bed. So let's do this pretty quick.
I'm Colton, and I'm going to be piloting the Model S Plaid tomorrow morning. Super excited for this one. I kind of chose the Plaid because I know Tesla. I have a Model 3 long range that I drive quite a bit, so I figured Tesla is probably the best way for me to go. We, of course, have our 5 mile an hour.
Heavy-duty DNA is so advanced and luxurious, even towing becomes an art form. The new 2024 GMC Sierra HD Denali Ultimate, engineered with heavy-duty DNA.
Hey parents, Michaels has new creative supplies for kids' summer fun. They have new activities for crafting almost anywhere. Plus, stock up on new art and craft supplies your kids and budget will love. Shop in-store or online today.
Speed cap over the speed limit that we're going to be doing tomorrow. Big thing I'm going to be trying with this is to get a big, long first leg on this. Hopefully trying to get the parachute. We'll see how that goes. It's going to be interesting because I got to play with the Model S here.
Not a bad
kind of
piece
figure
either.
out when I can
Dirty,
unplug and make
but
it
no
to the
fake.
next stop.
Thanks,
Don't
Wanderer.
really know this car super specifically like I do mine, so that'll be interesting. We're just going to have to fly by the seat of our pants, if you will. But yeah, going to be in full air suspension all the way down, trying to get maximum range. And don't think I'm going to be in chill mode. We'll kind of see. Not exactly sure how this is going to go, but I'm excited for the first race to Vegas.
I'm Ryan. I'll be driving the Taycan. I'm pretty excited about this. The biggest advantage that this car has is charging curve. it's great. It charges from 0 to 50 extremely quickly, 0 to 70 is great, and even the top charging is really fast. So, while this may not have the same range as the Lucid, I think it can make up some time in the charging section. There's also a big advantage with the route planning. It tends to be very accurate, so it can give me a good idea of when I should leave and how long I need to so that'll be really helpful for me to maximize my view.
So guys, this all comes down to the specific route that we chose. It's a very customer-centric use case where we have a lot of people from Denver or Fort Collins that drive to Las Vegas. It's a very common route. We have 3 very expensive luxury electric vehicles that anyone looking to do such a run would consider. Because it's just far enough where, or I should say, it's just close enough where driving kind of makes sense than flying, but also where you kind of want a long range easy to get to there. So I really love this route that we've chosen. It's quite technical, going over the Rocky Mountains. The cars are all incredible in their own right. I also put up a poll on Twitter today asking who's going to win. I figured I'd pull up the results and show you. A lot of people think I have an advantage of driving, but I've actually chosen the most difficult car to optimize, which is the Lucid Air. I actually wanted to give Ryan the Lucid, but he said he's a Porsche man, so he has to drive the Porsche. Last time we did this, Alyssa and I took a Titan Cross Turismo, and we smoked everyone. This time, this car is almost at the most disadvantage because it can't get that big range stretch that these two had initially. So I really don't know what to expect here. This is the result. We have 2,137 votes right here. 54% of the people think that Tesla is going to win, so that means Colton has the people's vote there. We also have a lot of Tesla fans that follow me on Twitter, so I don't know. And then 23% the Lucid's going to win. Think the Lucid's going to win. 23% think the Titan's going to win, which is really interesting because that's the longest range, and this is the shortest range. So I think no one knows is what we're trying to tell you. And it really comes down to how much of an advantage is that first initial charge going to be, that run, I should say, that distance run in the Lucid, because once we get moving, this thing rips. Now, I should mention the Titan also will suffer the Signet Surge, but will also suffer the other problem at Electrify America, which is primarily what we're going to be using, because it's really the only high-power highway corridor network that these cars have access to in this area. So basically, if I run into an issue with this car, Ryan's going to pull up and run into an issue with this one as well. However, the voltage range of the Titan is slightly lower. This is like 680 dead, somewhere around there, and maybe high 700, just touching 800 when full. So a whole roughly 150 volts lower than the Titan, than the Lucid, which means the Signet Surge isn't as bad on the Titan as it is on the Lucid. And ultimately, I think that's a very realistic test of 2023. We've had Signet Surge for well over 6 months.
So fucking much.
Actually, and that's what these cars suffer out in the real world. So like I say, the car is a portion of it, the charging infrastructure is a portion of it, but unfortunately they are tied together.
Jeez, man. Blah, 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 blah. Like, it's just like too much. Like, he's talking too much.
I'm Laurie Blake. This is the Wrestle Talk News. On Fridays, we wear pink. Well, I wear pink. I don't know what you're doing. I'm not your dad. Our top story is about WWE signing AEW talent, or more specifically, not signing them, because they were scared. I was scared of what to do. This comes after some mysterious reports of a new unnamed AEW talent reportedly being interested in a move to WWE. Potentially the most nothing story to ever story. No specifics, no concretes, nada. But it has brought something more interesting out of the woodwork, because in explaining why talent-seeking opportunities in WWE while signed with AEW is tricky, Dave Meltzer on Wrestling Observer Radio let slip that WWE is very, very leery because of the MLW lawsuit. So they're not making, if that MLW lawsuit wasn't there, WWE. And it's not just these guys, the Elite. There's other guys with this relationship.
5 intelligence.
At least from hearing from WWE.
5 willpower.
WWE, and WWE has been uncharacteristically not aggressively trying to steal talent, unless somebody's contract is actually over because of that MLW lawsuit. Very, very leery, also a good way to describe Vince McMahon. Hello? What's that? Oh yeah, right. Allegedly, MLW, of course, have an ongoing dispute with WWE over many years of egregious anti-competitive behaviour when it comes to essentially throwing their weight around in order to poach talent and drown the
increases total power.
Mel's noted that if WWE do something wrong and it gets out, that is not a good thing for that lawsuit. And also that it is now Ari Emanuel in charge and not a defiant Vince. Defiant Vince is a bit like saying, strike a time, you don't actually need the extra scripter, because Vince would do, just saying Vince. That's the reason why Ari likely wouldn't fire Vince or Dana over a contract offer that made the lawsuit look bad. There will be a scapegoat in that, a sort of sacrificial firing to appease the lawsuit gods. Chump for the chump god. He doesn't even name the people who were reportedly interested in the WWE signing, but his comments were sparked by discussion around Kenny Omega commenting that he will go wherever these guys go, reference to the Young Bucks and not the early 2001 modern crooners, The Calling. Now, I always say this to Tony Khan, so I think it's only fair to say here too, never mind signing new talent WWE, play with the toys you got. One toy that people are kind of worried Mum might have thrown out or taken to the charity shop is Bray Wyatt, who hasn't been seen on WWE TV since late February, when he was seemingly building to a match with Bobby Lashley at WrestleMania. That didn't happen. Wyatt was then taking time away due to illness, but hasn't returned nor been very active on social media.
Goodbye, not farewell.
Radio silence across the board, which leads to speculation, which leads to Wrestle Talk News, which leads to